Welcome to Booze and News. I'm sitting here with Jose. We're talking about sports and some other things today. We were talking about the NBA Finals, and the Bucks just won the NBA Finals. Their first time in 50 years, I think is what I read.
Yeah.
Now they were playing the Phoenix Suns, who have never won. So I didn't really have personally like a horse in this bet. Like whoever won, I was happy for, you know. Now CP3, I was kind of rooting for because he's 36 years old, and I don't know how much more he has to give. You know.
Well, you don't know how much he has, but there's teams that want him because of his leadership.
Do you think he'll stay in Phoenix?
You know what? I don't know his contract. It all depends on his contract and what team's willing to buy him out in the contract.
That's true.
I know the Lakers want him.
Right. Yeah, he's been wanting to play with LeBron for forever.
You can't turn. I mean, that's a super team, and the Lakers are the Lakers. I'm sure if he's given the opportunity, he'll take it.
I gotta ask you a question. Are you a LeBron fan?
No.
Neither am I. Have you seen Space Jam?
I have not, but I've heard it sucks.
It was really bad. I watched it last night. Terrible. I watched it literally last night. It was really bad.
I've heard bad reviews.
What do you feel about like super teams in general, and do you think they affect the sports? Like, how do you feel like they affect?
Well,
the sports?
this year it proves that they do not affect sports because you got the Nets and you got the Lakers,
right?
And I'm happy that neither one of them went to the finals.
Sure.
So a lot of these super teams are becoming for like an easy ring, an easy championship.
Right.
But it's not always the case.
Right.
I mean, it worked for, I wouldn't even call,
The Warriors?
I wouldn't call the Warriors a super team because they built that team.
For the
And
most
then-
part, except for Durant.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then, but before Durant, they had already won twice.
Well, once, but they went to the finals twice, I think.
Correct.
Right.
And then Durant came, and he's a superstar.
Right.
Well, they got it. But what I'm seeing now is that a super team, not just because it's a super team with superstars and all-stars, you're not going to make it to the finals. Right. This year was super bad. And I'm glad.
Right. Now, I'm kind of with you. I do think that super teams in general are probably really good for ratings, but not so good for the sport because a lot of these cities can never afford to go over the cap, right? Over the budget cap. I have another question for you about sports. And this is kind of going to be a little bit tangent. Did you see that after the Milwaukee's Bucks game, they were celebrating, and there was a shooting downtown, and 3 people were shot?
I was not aware of that.
I am kind of curious about this. It's something I've been thinking about for a long time because, you know, just the other day at a Washington Nationals game, I don't know if you saw that, there was gunshots in their parking lot.
I was not aware of that.
And to me, it's just odd that there's an escalation of kind of violence, right? And I'm starting to see it kind of at these sporting events or after the sporting events, you know what I mean? Do you have any like opinions about that, or?
I wouldn't be able to comment specifically on sporting events because both scenarios that you mentioned I was not aware of.
Right.
I do know that it's happened more. Shooting just throughout the state, whether it's sports or not.
Right.
It just sucks. Either way, it's a negative thing.
Well, I kind of have an opinion. This is just it isn't completely. It's I forget the word, but it's not completely backed up by all the facts, right?
Okay.
But I've been seeing an escalation at sporting events, even of kind of violence. During the NBA Finals, there was a lot of fans that got kicked out for throwing things at players, you know, talking shit, saying racist stuff to players, you know what I mean? There was that one fan that dumped their popcorn on Russell Westbrook as he was walking out of the tunnel. Another one threw a water bottle at Kyrie Irving.
I think that's something that you've seen throughout time. I don't think it's more or less now.
So
I don't think so. I think throughout a period of time it's happened. Even the visiting people, sport fans or in visitors, they get into alterations right about their team. Just like it's now, it's happened before too.
it's true, and it is not atypical that after a team wins a championship, right? It doesn't matter, hockey, soccer, basketball, football, that people go crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember I was actually living in Oakland when they won that first championship, and they were lighting on cars on fire and shit. You know what I mean?
Look at what happened in Philadelphia when the Eagles won.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right. But it makes me question, why does a celebration turn violent? You know what I mean?
I mean, you never know. There's alcohol involved, drugs involved. It's been so many years of a team not winning that just people go overboard. You know.
That's a good point. Now I'm enjoying a beverage as we do on the show all the time, and you are having a beer as well. What beer are you having, if I can ask?
Probably one of the best beers they have right now on tap. What's it called? All right, give me a second. It's from Greater Heights. It's called. I just had 3 of these.
That's why you can't remember.
No. Blue Tile IPA.
Blue Tile IPA. And I'm having New Belgium's Domingo, which is a sour, and I'm really enjoying it. Now, do you go to many sporting events?
I used to. I haven't been to sporting events in the past year and a half because of COVID.
The pandemic.
But yes, I used to go to a lot of sporting events.
What do you think about them cutting off liquor sales at a certain point in the game? Because they used to serve alcohol throughout the game, and now they've started cutting that back, right? Baseball, football, basketball, to where they're selling it. They stopped selling it about 3/4 of the way through.
I don't think that's the case now. I don't know if things have changed, but I was a Texas season holder for years, and they stopped selling beer after the 3rd quarter.
That's what I've heard they're still doing.
Okay, so it hasn't changed from that.
Right, no, it hasn't changed, but they're still not selling it all. They used to sell it for the full game.
Okay,
but they don't do that anymore.
I don't know how far ago they used to do that because...
But I think the logic is because they know that the more inebriated that the audience gets, right?
I've seen crazy stuff in sporting events because of alcohol, yes.
Right, and so there's definitely like that correlation. Because I don't think that maybe the fans are like violent, but I think if you get them drunk, you know what I mean?
Especially if there's a big rivalry and somebody starts to... I'm a local fan. I'm all Houston.
Right.
If somebody comes and disrespects the Houston team, whether it's NFL, basketball, Astros, there's going to be altercations.
Well,
whether there's alcohol or not.
What about at the because
you got to show some kind of respect when you go to a different somebody else's stadium.
Did you see the Astros thing where those 2 guys and that LA Dodgers fan got into it? That was kind of in the news. If y'all were unaware, there was like I don't know any specifics. I don't know how it started, what happened, but
and that's going to continue happening as long as
the rivalry.
Oh yeah, because the LA fans feel that Astros stole that championship from them.
That's true, but that LA fan, I don't know if he was, like I said, I don't know the specifics. I don't know if they were both drunk, one was drunk, but one was there with his family, and one was just 2 guys, right? And this is gonna, I guess, sound a little bit callous, but it's a joke, right? But you know, Houston's whole motto is Houston strong, right? But how can you be Houston strong when 2 guys can't beat up one smaller guy, right?
I didn't see the whole thing.
It's a bad joke.
Houston strong started after Harvey.
Right. Just a bad joke. So we gotta finish up here. Did you have any questions for me, Jose?
No. What's your favorite type of beer to drink?
I mostly drink IPAs. Yeah, but during the summer I like sours or shandies or gozas or.
Do you prefer more West Side IPA or East Side IPA?
Well, just
actually my favorite IPA is Dogfish 60-minute. Dogfish Head 60-minute.
Okay.
Of all time, that's my favorite IPA. Dogfish Head.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Dogfish
Yeah.
Head, yeah.
And they're really one of the OGs of microbrewing in the United States. But it is totally unique. I feel like they really made like the East Coast IPA, you know what I mean? I like West Coast a lot. I like citrusy flavors and all that, right? But that Dogfish Head one to me is just always
It's really good.
iconic.
And I think the Dogfish 120 IPA,
Oh yeah.
it takes it even above
Yeah.
and beyond. That's really good beer.
Yeah, they actually make, I don't know if you can get it anywhere but at the brewery, but I've had, I think, a 180-minute IPA,
Okay.
which is just, so what it is, the time
Yeah.
is a reference to the boil.
Yeah.
So when they're making the beer, 60-minute is
They keep throwing.
right, so 60-minute is the traditional time for making a beer or an IPA, right? But when you go above and beyond that, right? So...
Yeah, they make good beer.
Well, thank you, Jose, for sitting down to me. Good luck with, I guess, the Rockets next season and your Houston teams.
Houston's gonna suck for the next 5-6 years,
Right.
but I'm gonna keep supporting them.
That's a true fan. So thank you guys for joining into Booze and News. Cheers, you guys. And we will see y'all next time.
Yes, Harden is an amazing player. I give him that credit, but he was never the leader of the team.
Sure.
CP3 came in. He took, I think he took the leadership role while he was in the Rockets, and I think he continues to do that in every
Wherever
team
he
that
goes.
he goes to.
Yeah. Now, do you think that's a point guard's responsibility?
Not necessarily a point guard, but a person that really wants it
Right.
is their responsibility, and he is that person.
I personally think that a point guard, because they control the court,
Yeah.
they control the pace, that they have to be kind of a captain.
Yes, but it's not. That's not the case in every team.
That's true. That's true. Like
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, for example,
Yeah.
is a leader,
Or yeah.
and he's I don't even know what he is. He's 7 foot tall, and he's like a small forward.
He just does it all.
Right.
But
Now, hey, introduce yourself again.
Oh, my name's Jonathan Fleischner.
No, like, do how you did that intro.